A video about my recent DNA story. Shout out to all my maternal haplogroup L3D1-5 and my paternal haplogroup happened to be E-M263.2. Hi to all my DNA family members. We need unity. Unity is the key to success in this world. We need to love one another. Peace to everyone and long live everybody. My video today is about how a curiosity in me get the best out of me. After questioning myself and my father as a child about my identity, where did we actually came from, and couldn't get the answer that would satisfy me, I kept this in me. And then to make matters worse, when I travel, everywhere I go to in this world, people will ask me, where do you come from? And then when I open my mouth and say Ghana, Ghana is always the last country they put me in. And I will be like furious. You know how we Africans are. We're so proud of our countries. And people say, why are you offended? I say, no, I'm not offended. I'm a Ghanaian. Finally, I bought my DNA kit and said, let me test myself. I got myself tested, and my result was like a mind-blowing. It's like just blew open the lid out of everything. For all these years, people were asking me whether I was either South African, East African, as West Africa. They put me in Nigeria, Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast. The only country people never put me in was Ghana. And all these years, people were asking me this question. My true identity was actually what the people were revealing to me, and I wasn't even aware. My DNA revealed to me that I'm part everything in the sub-Saharan continent, even to the part that I'm a little bit North African, into the Arabian Peninsula. That shows that no matter what we do in this world, we need to try our best to put our differences aside and pray for the common good for humanity. As well, we sub-Saharan Africans, we have one grandfather and one grandmother. We are all one family. I'm a Ghanaian. I can trace my forefathers 600 or 700 years in Ghana, the location where we settle. At the same time, I have every part of sub-Saharan African in me. The south to the east to the west, you name it, even part of the North Africa. If my DNA shows that a Ghanaian child that was born, my forefathers, some of them were born there, my grandfather was born in Ghana, my father was born in Ghana, happened to come from the whole African continent. And my haplogroup, my maternal haplogroup, lineage, happened to come from the Nile Valley. I descend from Ramsey III, from my father's side. That shows that we are all the same human beings. As an African, I'm calling upon all our African leaders to put our differences aside and call for the common good for the African continent. We suffered enough. Our forefathers sacrificed everything for us to have a peaceful continent to settle today and don't have to worry about disturbance that where are we running to every 3 months or 6 months, like those days that people used to run every day to hide so they don't capture them. Today we are far better off, apart from we Africans inflicting wounds to ourselves. Can we please put our differences aside and unite the whole continent as Africa to have one voice? Maybe if we can have one voice, we may be able to create one market whereby all Africans will be able to do well in this African continent. And then when we choose to travel the world, we'll go for vacation and go back to our home countries. So whereby Africans will not travel all the way to Arabian Peninsulas, our women, daughters, and children are there getting abused and killed every day just for a better life. Our African continent is so rich in resources, natural resources. and yet we are the poorest in the whole entire world. Maybe at times I question myself, why are we suffering this much in this world? Anywhere you go, black people are the only people that are suffering more everywhere in the world. It comes to a point at times I sleep in my bed and I cry. When I watch TV, at times see the suffering of African people in this world. It saddens me so much. At times I don't even know what to do. My hair is getting more gray than my mother hair. That's how much I care about this, our continent. So African leaders, as your daughter who grew up in that continent, where my umbilical bottom was buried, I pray for our leaders to put our differences aside and unite this continent that we love dearly and create one unity, one Africa that Africans will enjoy as how our forefathers and mothers intended. Please, I'm begging to all our leaders,